Steel cage match. The Young Bucks versus Penta and Rey Fenix for the AEW Tag Team Championship. The Lucha Brothers had one of the greatest entrances of all time as their theme was performed live by Muelas del Gallo.
Very good. Very nice, Tony.
This entrance was awesome.
Best entrance on the show.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Made them look like huge stars.
Yes. They came out, Don Callis.
Nick Jackson's look keeps evolving. He's now got Hollywood Hogan, like half blonde, half dark beards. It's outrageous.
He looks like trash. It's great. Yeah. Don Callis is on commentary, and man, I don't even know where to start with this match. This was one of the all-time great steel cage matches. I think this is going to be very, very high on match of the year lists. This was damn near perfect. The Young Bucks are in control early on. Phoenix, after avoiding getting choked by this chain from Matt Jackson, kicks off the fence into an arm drag and then follows with this double cutter. The Bucks miss with the BTE trigger, and then Phoenix avoids a Meltzer driver after getting kicked low by Matt Jackson. And again, like this crowd, they hated the Young Bucks. They loved the Lucha Brothers. They knew what the dynamic was, and it was going to intensify the match that much more. Brandon Cutler comes down, and he throws a bag into the cage. This was a hell of a throw by Brandon Cutler.
Oh, yeah, it was. He wound up, and I think he recognized this is a tall cage. You have to remember everybody in AEW. So if you missed, that would have been quite embarrassing. But he got it on the first try, and it was a perfect throw. Wow.
Could have torn his labrum, but it would have been worth it here. The bag lands perfectly, and Matt Jackson removes his shoe to put on the thumbtack shoe.
The thumbtack J.
Yes. And Phoenix is laying there. He's about to be killed, and Penta plays shield, protecting his younger brother. And this is where the match just escalates that much further. And Matt nails Penta with a super kick with the tacks. The crowd's chanting assholes at them. Penta's face is all bloody through the mask. There's a point where the mask gets caught in the tacks and they have to pull him off. Nick then delivers a haluva kick to Penta into the tacks. Matt then super kicks Phoenix. Nick follows with a poison Rana, and then they go for the BTE trigger on Penta, but Phoenix makes the save, and this audience erupts. Phoenix does the one-man comeback, incredible strikes here.
Amazing.
He takes the shoe and hits Matt and Nick with the shoe, and then hits a Fire Thunder driver on Matt for a near fall. This is already just in another league at this point. Nick is bleeding heavily from the tacks. Matt and Pentagon then hit the simultaneous package pile drivers on the edge of the apron, and then they go at it, culminating with a top rope Canadian destroyer by Pentagon to Matt. There was part of me that was very fearful when I saw this cage that these two would think that we could do this off the top of the cage. I was so glad that they didn't, and this was equally as impressive. Dude, they did it off a goddamn ladder through a table. I don't know if this is that much more dangerous than that one. They did these series of kip-ups and super kicks. We get all four men down. Phoenix rotates with a spinning wheel kick, and they hit the stomp into the package pile driver, another save, and Pentagon points to the top of the cage. Phoenix says, sure. He climbs up. Nick stops Pentagon, and Nick scales to the top of the cage with Phoenix, but Phoenix scales the top of the cage with the running penalty kick and then dives off the cage with a high cross, and they hit their finish for the win in 22 minutes and 2 seconds. I don't care what your star system is. This maxed it out for me. This is probably my match of the year. I was in awe of this. I thought that every second of this, from the entrance to the body of the match, the finish, the post-match where Penta's with his family and his daughter, this was wrestling perfection for me. This was among my favorite matches I have watched in I don't know how long. by far my match of the show, and that is saying a lot on this show, but this was goddamn incredible.
This was the type of match that like was going to take this from, I think, already a pretty legendary show to like possibly all time. You know, the type of match that I think we'll be talking about for years to come. It was a very special one, and one that I can't wait to rewatch after this match. It's almost funny to think that there were concerns heading into this match about what the cage was going to limit of these guys. If there are any concerns about that, immediately they showed you that I think confinement actually made this match better. You ever catch a bee in a jar or a fly in a jar? Like, those things won't stop moving. It's bouncing around from corner to corner. You ever play squash versus playing like, I don't know, golf? Like, they move just as fast, just within a small area, and it made this match incredible. Beyond, I think, just their incredible physical ability, they crammed in so many different interesting elements in this match that kept your attention throughout. You know, first of all, I think introducing their style within the cage itself, that was novel. The shoe, when that was introduced, that kind of like filled a really good, you know, next 5-10 minutes. Ripping of the mask, the blade job. By the way, like that look of Pentagon through
it was amazing. What a visual.
When he was stopping his brother from like taking the shoe, that's straight out of a comic book panel. It was amazing. The Mexican standoff that they were doing with the super kicks and then like the chops, and then when they both kipped up and did it in reverse. Like,
oh yeah,
that shit was brilliant, you know? Phoenix's incredible comebacks that are just like video game, like it really is, like that feels like an understatement, but that's the best way to describe it. That dive off the top, and then all the dressing before and afterwards, like this more than warranted. How long was this match, John?
22 minutes.
Like, they could have gone 60. I mean, I have concern, I suppose, at some point, but like they could at this like pleasure level, they couldn't have gone too long, because this was bliss, you know, absolutely spectacular, and just completely exceeded my expectations.
And what's really cool about this, and whether this is, you know, intentional or just the way things lined up, is that last match they had, that ladder match, it ends with the Lucha Brothers winning, and then Santana and Ortiz making their debut with the masks on, laying out both teams. And they're the team that, in theory, after this week, are waiting in the wings now for the Lucha Brothers. And the Young Bucks, I mean, they have a huge program ahead. This was tremendous. And there's all these great directions to go with this loaded tag division. But this was an all-timer. An amazing, amazing match.
Completely.